Welcome to Ports and Palaces podcast. It is January 28th, and today we're going over Universal Studios Orlando Mardi Gras.
Good morning, everyone. Like Chad said, today we are taking it down to the bayou with the Universal Orlando's Mardi Gras celebration. But before we get there, I do have just a tiny bit of Universal Hollywood news. So more FanFest nights have been added to the 2026 calendar. These are going to be select nights between April 23rd and May 16th. And we now have some themes to talk about. So last time we talked about Universal, we talked about Scooby-Doo and Monsters. So that is still confirmed. But now we've got Dungeons and Dragons, Super Nintendo World, One Piece, which I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is, Chad?
It's an anime I grew up on. I know a lot about it.
Chad knows about One Piece. So if you have any One Piece questions, direct them to chad.russell@portsandpalaces.vacations. And then Wizarding World of Harry Potter. This one I am the most excited about. It is going to be a maze in the Forbidden Forest to help a hippogriff. So that was really cool. You've probably seen some things about it on social media, but definitely cool. I wish we were closer to Hollywood and that those dates worked out where we could just sneak in a quick trip, because that sounds really cool. But if you're thinking about FanFest nights, definitely look into them. So if you are interested in any kind of FanFest nights, they are all about immersive experiences, themed food and drinks, themed merchandise, and then obviously you have access to Universal Hollywood's rides and attractions. So definitely reach out. I can book these activities for you, and I'd love to help you.
So just as a brief overview, Mardi Gras at Universal is a seasonal event. It is definitely inspired by the New Orleans Mardi Gras. Typically runs from February through early April. This year's dates are specifically February 7th through April 4th.
And then a really cool thing about Mardi Gras at Universal is everything, for the most part, is included with park admission. So this isn't like an after-hours event or anything like that. It's all part of your regular day. There are some extra activities that are add-on costs that we will talk about, but for the most part, like just the ambiance, the excitement, it's all part of your normal day. So this is not probably the most popular of Universal's events. So, you've got Halloween Horror Nights and holidays get the most kind of attention, but Mardi Gras is still something that they celebrate and they do very well.
It's definitely colorful.
Yeah, definitely.
Very colorful decor everywhere.
Kind of the biggest pieces of this event are like park transformation. So like Chad said, very colorful decor. You've kind of got the New Orleans vibe through, decorations everywhere. They've got like different music things, a lot of food booths, a lot of fun food. And then another big component is live entertainment. So we're actually going to kick it off with the live entertainment. Something that is really cool that they do is they hold a concert series, and they're typically on Saturdays and Sundays only. So if you are going to be at Universal on a Saturday or Sunday during their event time, definitely check out their concerts. This year's performers are Cascade, Portugal the Man, Ivy Queen, Joey Fatone, and AJ McLean, RuPaul, which is also DJ set, Shaggy, Tyler Hubbard, BB.
Bebe Rexha.
Yep, that one. Zed, Bare Naked Ladies, and the All American Rejects. Definitely some good ones for millennials out there. There's some good ones.
The last three I wouldn't expect last four I should say, I wouldn't expect for Mardi Gras, but here we are.
Another big component of like entertainment is the parade. So they have these huge Mardi Gras floats and they throw beads out to the crowd. And so definitely something fun. This parade goes a pretty good distance around the Universal Studios, like the older park. So there's really not a bad place to sit. I will say you're going to have a lot more people towards like the front. So my strategy might be actually to go towards like the back of the park. And that way, once you get to your part, you're free to kind of veer off to like Wizarding World or things like that. But it's still, I don't think you would have a hard time getting a good spot. Something that is kind of cool and unique is Universal actually has a ride and dine package where you can eat at select restaurants, and those restaurants are typically Cowfish NBC Sports Grill and Brew, Finnegan's Bar and Grill, Lombard Seafood and Grill, Confisco, Antojitos, Bob Marley's, and Pat O'Brien's. And you can actually get a voucher from them as you eat. It is booked that way. It's not just you going up to the restaurant and eating there, but you're part of this package, and you get a voucher to then participate in the float, which is really cool, and you get to throw the beads.
There are some restrictions and other eligibility requirements. Feel free to reach out for more details.
And this does cost you about $95 per person. So that is quite a hefty cost, especially thinking about how much just a regular meal is at these restaurants. But to be able to participate in the float is definitely cool. Some smaller themed entertainment is going to be street performers and just roaming entertainment like people on stilts. And one of Chad's favorite activities is actually something that they're there all the time, but they do kind of get a New Orleans refresh, and that is the Beat Builders.
Yep, those guys are really cool. I always like their percussive music.
Yep. Before we move on, though, it is something to note that this is mostly concentrated over in the older park, Universal Studios Florida. There's not as much over in Islands of Adventure, and obviously this is the first year of having Epic Universe during this time, so we're not sure if they're going to get into the fun, but typically this is only in the Universal Florida park. While you're kind of waiting for entertainment, there is food booths that you can go to, and these are inspired by New Orleans staples and also Caribbean, Latin America, Europe, and other areas that celebrate kind of that cultural ethnic food. Definitely must-try items are going to be beignets. I don't think you can go to a Mardi Gras celebration and not celebrate with beignets.
Gumbo as well.
Yep, and then gumbo and jambalaya, as well as specialty cocktails and mocktails. They typically do like a refillable cup if you like to drink or you're with a big group of people who maybe want to try a lot of different drinks. I'm thinking, in particular, like you're with a group of people that aren't big drinkers, but they want to try a lot of the drinks. Definitely look into getting one of those souvenir cups. You get more drink for less money. Typically, your souvenir cup, pay a little bit more for that first drink, and then the other drinks are priced at the same price as a smaller drink, so you're actually getting more drink for less money, and then you're able to get more, and so you can kind of try different things and share and things like that. So definitely something to look into is that souvenir cup.
Something else to kind of more fine-tune your trip for this is, who is the Mardi Gras event best for? It's typically better for adults without kids, families with teens,
Yep.
That can handle themselves, and annual pass holders, of course, people who already know the park well and have probably gone to this before. Kirsten, how does this kind of compare to the other Universal events?
Yeah, I think, definitely what you said as far as like teens or no kids, this event is definitely more geared towards people who like, to try different kinds of foods or like to drink, like the live entertainment aspect of going to parks. I definitely don't see, if you have, a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old that you're going to spend a whole lot of time doing Mardi Gras things. Just because I can see an 8-year-old being like, who is Bare Naked Ladies and why should I care to listen to their music? I definitely think, if you're looking at a family trip with younger kids, definitely maybe look towards the Universal holiday side with the Grinch, and you've got the specialty kind of items there, and then you've got the people that draw through Halloween Horror Nights. It's just such a big event, but Mardi Gras, I really feel like, are for the people that are kind of there for the vibes and there for the fun and the music, but maybe don't want their entire trip to be consumed with an event.
Yeah, there's lots to do.
Yeah.
Outside of the event itself, there's plenty of different attractions to go to, rides to go to, plenty of different food options to go to as well.
I think that's why this event is so quiet, but then it's also really, really fun in that you don't have to center your entire trip around it. You can still go do your normal rides and attractions and food while kind of sprinkling in some of this Mardi Gras as well. So definitely a good time to go and see what it's about while still having a good trip.
It's well meshed into the park. It's not all encumbering of the rest of the park, is basically what we're trying to say.
Now, something to think about when planning your visit is crowd levels. So you're going to get a lot of crowds here coming up pretty soon around like President's Day weekend. A lot of people get a long weekend around there. So you definitely want to be mindful of that. You're probably going to get a lot of people, especially a lot of locals that are wanting to come during that President's Day weekend time. This also kind of butt ends up to like an early spring break. So some parts of the country have spring break earlier in March, and so that could definitely affect your trip. People could be coming down for, a quick trip and doing the Mardi Gras things during spring break. If you're wanting the full experience with the concerts, though, remember I mentioned that those are only on the weekends. So definitely don't come a Monday through Thursday and expect to see a concert, because those are typically only on the weekends.
Do know it's Florida, and typically, it doesn't get super cold in Florida as it does other states during the year.
Except for this week.
Yeah,
it's
except
supposed to
for
be
this
in
week.
the 30s there.
Yeah.
Where we are currently experiencing a snow den. We're all getting a little stir crazy around here.
Yep. Definitely bring layers of clothes, just in case. Stuff that's easy to take off, though, too.
And then, of course, wear your beads, your purple, your yellow, your green, celebrate the season. But overall, Chad, do you think that Mardi Gras is worth it? Is it a good time to go?
Yeah, it seems like a fun event. I, for one, am not a very big jambalaya and gumbo person, but I'll go for the beignets.
But overall, this is a great, wonderful time to go. Any time on vacation is great, but just know if you're going between February and April that Universal will be doing some extra special things for Mardi Gras. But
that is going to be it for today's episode. If this episode helped, follow the show, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs it. We're on all socials at Ports and Palaces. See you next time.
And as always, I'm Kirsten.
And I'm Chad.
Happy travels from all your ports and palaces.
This podcast is sponsored by Ports and Palaces Vacations. Whether you are wanting to check out a new port along a cruise line or see the palaces of Disney and Universal, our travel advisors make your dream trip a reality. Your next trip is just a click away.